In 2024, most people feel comfortable associating Arsenal with the Emirates Stadium. After all, it's been their home for almost 2 decades now, and it's the only stadium that I've ever known Arsenal to play in. Arsenal moved here in 2006 after it became clear that there just wasn't enough room at their old stomping ground to expand, and to stay put would see them miss out on significant matchday revenue. It was a place, however, where they thrived, and a place where sights like this were a little all too common for us Chelsea fans. Arsenal, during their final few years at Highbury, were at the top of their game, winning 7 major trophies in their last 5 years at the ground. That included 3 FA Cups and 2 Premier League titles, one of which was that infamous Invincible season. Legends such as Tony Adams, Ian Wright, Dennis Bergkamp and David Seaman all made their names under Highbury's floodlights and played their part in making Arsenal such a well-respected and well-feared team. The home of the Gunners from 1913 until 2006, Highbury once held a capacity of 59,000 fans, until the Hillsborough disaster of 1989 saw the introduction of the Football Spectators Act that same year. This meant that all teams in England's top 2 leagues were required to provide an all-seater stadium, resulting in Arsenal's capacity being reduced to 38,500 people, a loss of 20,000 seats and 20,000 paying customers every other week. So in a nutshell, that's why Arsenal chose to upgrade. But did you know just how close Arsenal's old home is to their new one? Over there are the stairs that take you up to the Emirates, and just down the road here is Arsenal Station. If we walk slightly further along and take the first right, Arsenal's old stadium still remains. I've seen pictures and videos online and stuff of what it looks like today, and to be fair, those that redeveloped the properties once it was taken over have done a fantastic job at maintaining the history that lay once before, which is more than can be said for teams like West Ham with Upton Park. But right now, as we walk up Highbury Hill, it should become clear to us where that old stadium used to lay. We can try and have a poke around and see what's left. Only halfway up Highbury Hill, and 2 things immediately stick out to me. Thing number 1, how wonderfully kept that part of the stadium is to this day. And thing number 2, that gate's open. Let's go and have a look. I love the fact that they've still got this, by the way. A map of what used to be with the stadium. It's very, very cool. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are in. And, wow, actually, I'm going to have to flip the camera around straight away, because that is seriously impressive. I know it may not seem like much with the trees in front, but you can clearly see the outline of what used to be Highbury. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure if these houses were here before and if that was a walkway similar to maybe the likes of Luton. But nevertheless, this is very cool. We're about to get an even better look. How about that? One thing that is an immediate takeaway from this is just how well kept the East Stand and the West Stand have with their designs. And obviously you've got the communal gardens just here. For the people that live here, I don't think we'll be able to get in. But it's pretty mad, isn't it, to think your likes of Pires, Henry, even Arsene Wenger would have been standing somewhere over there or there in the dugouts. It's crazy to think. But I also just think that it's so lovely that all of those years of history, almost 100 years, they were here from 1913 until 2006. And they've decided to keep the structures like that in place, just to keep that memory alive, and I think that's really wonderful. And even that is a lovely touch as well. Now, I've just spoken to a couple of people who I assume are residents who live here to ask whether or not we could actually get inside the gardens and have a look, but, you know, for understandable reasons we can't. You know, I think it's nice that the privacy of the new residents here are respected, and that's something that obviously I'm trying to do as well. I don't want to go stepping on people's toes too much for the sake of a YouTube video, but it is really nice to walk through here. Again, you can sort of feel just from looking at these new buildings now and how they've kept the design that the history still remains here, and I just think that that's a really beautiful thing. So shout out to the property developers and the people that build this and kept the history intact. So I think that is a really, really special thing for Arsenal fans. One thing that I'm a huge lover of is these lovely glass water fountains. I think it's such a nice touch, and it's very pretty. The redevelopment of Highbury saw the demolition of the clock end and the north bank, with the east and west stands kept intact to maintain that stadium feel. Once a stadium that was feared by some of the greatest athletes to ever play the game, now the site of £500 million worth of luxury flats, designed by Allies and Morrison. The project is designed to provide protection but also a sense of openness and nature, and was awarded the MIPIM award in 2009. A beautiful project that's given a second life to a sports venue, whilst also keeping the history very much intact. I do find it extremely interesting as well, because even looking at what's behind me now, you wouldn't think that this was a living area. You'd still think that it was in use as the Arsenal Stadium, even down to the little degree of those pillars up there, or masts, whatever you want to call them. It's just so nice that they've done, very clearly they've done their best to keep this stadium intact to the best of their ability. And I mean, what a treat for Arsenal fans. You've got the new stadium around the corner and such vivid memories still left intact. I think it's so lovely, as well as this open door. And what lay behind that door was the infamous marble halls, still left intact, complete with a bust of Herbert Chapman, now used as a reception area for the Highbury Square flats. This architectural masterpiece was constructed in the 1930s, acting as the main entrance for players into Highbury, and is a major part of why this ground is so iconic. And this photo in particular was taken in Arsenal's final season at the stadium, wearing the same shirt they wore in their final ever game at Highbury. Which brings us nicely on to the final story of the video. Battling between bitter rivals Tottenham for 4th spot and the final game of the season, Arsenal hosted Wigan with their only mission to get a better result than Spurs, and if they did, they would guarantee themselves Champions League football. Pires bundled the ball into the back of the net 8 minutes in, giving Arsenal an early lead, and the fairy tale had begun. Or had it. Wigan equalised just 2 minutes later before catching Jens Lehmann out from a free kick to take an unexpected 2-1 lead, well and truly spoiling the Highbury send-off. 10 minutes later, before half-time however, Thierry Henry scored with a trademark finish to level things up before the break, but he wasn't finished there, rounding the keeper in the 56th minute and scoring a penalty in the 76th to complete his hat-trick. The Gunners' golden boy with a Highbury hat-trick kissed the ground below him for the very last time. So a beautiful send-off for a beautiful stadium, and ladies and gentlemen, what a perfect way to end what has been a really lovely video. You know, putting rivalries aside, you can appreciate, one, what a beautiful ground this was, and two, just how wonderfully kept it's been. And I know I've banged on about it enough during this video, but it is so nice to see how well kept it is. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have liked this video, then please let me know by hitting the like button down below, commenting what you thought of this video, what you think of this stadium, and also what other stadiums you'd like me to go and visit, whether they're abandoned or not, and I will absolutely take them into consideration. And finally, if you guys have got any videos from here or from the Emirates that you enjoy and that you'd like me to see, whether it's goals, whether it's you messing around with your mates or chants, or any great moments that you think that I should react to, I want to start doing some videos where I react to your guys' videos, so please send them in. I've left an email link in the description down below, because it would be great to see any videos or any content from a stadium as great as this, or even the Emirates in truth as well. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching as always. I will see you guys very soon in the next one. Take care, peace and love.